Hi, this is Megan from Beadaholique, and today I'm going to show you how to take apart and distress a pocket watch. So I'm working on this piece here, and it has all these vintage watch faces, and I wanted to have the pocket watch as part of the piece, but I didn't want the full pocket watch. So this is the one that started this way. So this pocket watch started like this pocket watch, but as you can see, now it's really not like that anymore. So I'm just going to show you what I did. First thing is, a lot of our pocket watches come on a necklace chain. So go ahead and use the jump ring and remove the chain. Okay, now working with this, you need to make sure that you're not going to be crushing a glass crystal on your pocket watch. So just be really careful, and if you can't get the crystal out, be careful. Some of them are plastic, some of them are glass. So be really, really careful, because you don't want to end up with your hands full of shattered glass. The other thing is, some of this involves like filing and prying things open. So please, please, please be careful and use caution, and don't hurt yourself trying to get this thing open. And it's also a really good idea to wear safety goggles when you're working with this kind of stuff. So I'm using a diamond file a lot. I'm also going to use a Vintaj relief block. And this is actually a bead scooper, but I use this little thing for prying things open all the time. And this is what I used that I really found was helpful for this. So if you have something else that you want to use, just be careful and make sure you're not going to damage anything. But I'm using this, which is intended for scooping up seed beads. So the first thing I'm going to do is take this edge here and kind of work it into the back where the case attaches on the pocket watch. And you're going to ding it up, but the whole point is to distress it, so don't be worried about dinging it up. And then take the back off. And this little guy is running, and it's running like crazy. This one's actually defective. It goes crazy. The second hand is flying. But I would recommend not winding your watch before, so that you don't have it moving around while you're trying to get the face off. And to get the crystal off, what you're going to do is open the lid of the watch and turn it over, and then you can use plier or your end of your diamond file or anything. Find a spot where there are not moving parts moving. Carefully reach through and push. And see, this one, it just popped right out. With what I'm doing right now, I'm actually, my goal is to keep the watch moving, because I like the idea of being able to have the movement in the piece I'm working on. So just like, for example, when you're trying to remove the crystal, be careful that you're like not inhibiting the movement of the actual clockwork mechanism. Okay, now I'm going to remove the lid, which do not try to cut through the pin that's holding it on. It's really, really, really hard, and you're most likely going to damage your cutting tool if you try to cut through the pin there. So because I'm going for a aged, distressed, beaten up kind of a look, I'm gonna not make this very hard at all, and I'm just gonna rip it off. And now you'll notice that you have these kind of jagged, sharp bits here left. So you need to go in with your file and just file them down. And if you do a lot of filing, you want to wear a mask so that you don't breathe in the little metal particles. But you're just going to file that down until it's not sharp anymore, because the last thing that you want is something that can cut you on a piece of jewelry. And the file, if it hits the rest of it, that's fine. I'm going to go back later and file the rest of it anyway. So now I have this nice flat, open, exposed clock kind of piece. But since I'm using it with a bunch of vintage pieces and some pieces that I've distressed also, I want to basically mess it up. I don't want it to look so pretty, because this against that looks shiny and new. So a couple of things that I'm doing for that is I'm gonna take a diamond file and I'm gonna file, and it's gonna put scratches. So kind of just wherever you want them. So of course you don't want to take like your grandpa's pocket watch and do this to it. This is if you're gonna, you know, purposefully destroy something to include it into a piece. So just keep that in mind. Like, you know, if you have an old, not valuable pocket watch, or you get one or a new one for the purpose, but you don't want to get a really valuable one or use an old one. So I'm also going to mess up the face a little bit. I'm going to put scratches into it. And if you're using this particular watch that's for this project, be careful because the little numbers come right off. So if you are scratching across, they'll come off. So that's fine. I've lost some of the numbers on mine and I don't mind that, but just FYI, they do move around and come off. And place it flat down when you're working. It will come through the back. So place it on a flat surface. And I just went through with the tip of the file and made some gouges and some scratches. And it's kind of makes a horrible noise, but it's an effective way to make it look kind of old and beat up. You got to do something on the face there or else the face looks a little too pristine. So I have some scratches and stuff. I'm going to go in with my Vintaj relief block and I'm going to relief the actual metal of the casing. So I'm going to use the dark gray sides to wear down some of the finish, and don't just do the sides and then leave like the loop and the push button and everything, or else it will look kind of odd. And then I'm going to go in with the white side here. And if you want the light gray side, we'll kind of buff and shine it to make it look really worn. And you can see that it's kind of like instant old stuff. And you can play around and add as much distressing as you want, but that's the basic process to kind of get yourself something that's more thin and exposed and kind of dismantled looking. If you want to glue it into something, make sure that you don't put glue on the moving parts in the back. You just want to glue around the casing. And that's going to be a really good, efficient, effective way to kind of destroy a pocket watch and make it look old and beat up.